Hello, and today I'll be talking about genies or djinns. Djinn, or anglicised as genie, with meaning of spirit or demon, depending on source, are invisible creatures in early pre-Islamic Abrahamian religion systems, and later in Islamic mythology and theology. Jinn are neither innately evil nor innately good. Islam acknowledged spirits from other religions and was able to adapt spirits from other religions during its expansion. Jinn are not strictly an Islamic concept. They may represent several pagan beliefs integrated into Islam. In an Islamic context, the term jinn is used for both a collective designation for any supernatural creature and also to refer to a specific type of supernatural creature. As referring to invisible creatures in general, jinn are often mentioned together with devils. Both devils and jinn feature in folklore and are held responsible for misfortune, possession and diseases. The jinn, in contrast, are sometimes supportive and benevolent. They are mentioned frequently in magical works throughout the Islamic world to be summoned and bound to a sorcerer, but also in zoological treatises as animals with a subtle body. The origin of the word jinn remains uncertain. Some scholars relate the Arabic term jinn to the Latin genus, a guardian spirit of people and places in Roman religion as a result of synchronism during the reign of the Roman Empire under Tiberius and or Augustus. However, this derivation is also disputed. Another suggestion holds that jinn may be derived from the Aramaic jinyana, with the meaning of tutelary deity or guardian. Others claim a Persian origin of the word in the form of Asvetic Djinni, a wicked female spirit. Djinni were among various creatures in the possibly even pre-Zoroastrian mythology of peoples of Iran. The anglicised form genie is a borrowing of the French genie, also from the Latin genus. It first appeared in 18th century translations of the 1001 Nights from the French, where it had been used owing to its rough similarity in sound and sense, and further applies to benevolent intermediary spirits, in contrast to malevolent spirits called demon and heavenly angels in literature. In Assyrian art, creatures ontologically between humans and divinities are also called genie, although the Quran reduced the status of jinn from that of tutelary deities to merely spirits placed parallel to the humans, subject to God's judgment and the process of life, death and afterlife. They were not consequentially equated with devils. When Islam spread outside of Arabia, belief in the jinn was assimilated with local belief about spirits and deities from Iran, Africa, Turkey, and India. They are often believed to be able to take control of over a human's body, although it is a strong belief among many Muslims. Some authors argue, since the Quran doesn't explicitly attributes possession to the jinn, it is a pagan belief and not necessarily part of Muslim creed. Early Persian translations of the Quran identified the jinn either with Peris or divs, depending on their moral behaviour. However, such identifications of jinn with spirits or of another culture are not universal. Some of the pre-Islamic spirits remained. Paris and divs are frequently attested as distinct from jinn among Persian Muslim law, as well as Turkish Muslim. But since both div as well as jinn are associated with demonic and the ability to transform themselves, they overlap sometimes. Instead, the concept of the genie was introduced when Islam became acceptable. Since then, jinn have become a common part of local folklore, also including stories of both male jinn called jinn and female jinn called jinneri. Folk stories of female jinn include stories such as the Jedhal Jirini. While due to the cultural influence, the concept of jinn may vary or share some common features. The jinn are believed to live in societies resembling those of humans, practicing religion, including Islam, Christianity and Judaism, having emotions, needing to eat and drink, and can procreate and raise families. Additionally, they fear iron, generally appear in desolate or abandoned places, and are stronger and faster than humans. Since the jinn share the earth with humans, Muslims are often cautious not to accidentally hurt an innocent jinn by uttering destu, permission before sprinkling hot water. Generally, jinn are thought to eat bones and prefer rotten flesh over fresh flesh. Both Islamic and non-Islamic scholarship generally distinguishes between angels, jinn, and devils as three different types of spiritual entities. In Islamic traditions, beliefs in entities similar to the jinn are found throughout pre-Islamic Middle Eastern cultures. The ancient Sumerians believed in Pazuzu, a wind demon, who was shown with a rather canine face with abnormally bulging eyes, a scaly body, a snake-headed penis, the talons of a bird, and usually wings. The ancient Babylonians believed in Ututur, a class of demons which were believed to haunt remote wilderness, graveyards, mountains, and the sea, all locations where jinn were later thought to reside. The Babylonians also believed in Rabisu, a vampiric demon believed to leap out and attack travellers at unfrequented locations, similar to the post-Islamic Ghul, a specific kind of jinn whose name is etymologically related to that of the Sumerian Gala, a class of underworld demon. Lamashtu, also known as Labato, was a divine demoness said to devour human infants. Lamassu, also known as Shadu, were guardian spirits sometimes with evil propensities. Excuse me. The Assyrians believed in the Alu, sometimes described as a wind demon residing in desolate ruins who would sneak into people's houses at night and steal their sleep. In the ancient Syrian city of Palmyra, entities similar to the jinn were also known as Jinnai, an Aramaic name which may be etymologically derived from the name of the Genii from Roman mythology, like jinn among modern-day Bedouin Jinnaya, were thought to resemble humans. They protected caravans, cattle, and villages in the desert, and tutelary shrines were kept in their honour. They were frequently invoked in pairs. In Judaism, the description of jinn is almost identical with that of the Shiddim from Jewish mythology. As with the Djinns, some of whom follow the law brought by Muhammad, some of the Shiddim are believed to be followers of the law of Moses and consequently good. Both are said to be invisible to human eyes, but are nevertheless subject to bodily desires, like procreating and the need to eat. Some Jewish sources agree with the Islamic notion that jinn inhabited the world before humans. Asmodeus appears both as an individual of the jinn, or Shedem, as an antagonist of Solomon. As in Islam, the idea of spiritual entities converting to one's own religion can be found in Buddhism. According to law, Buddha preached to devas and asura, spiritual entities who, like humans, are subject to the cycle of life and who resemble the Islamic notion of jinn, who are ontologically placed among humans in regard to astrological destiny. Some scholars evaluated whether the jinn might be compared to fallen angels in Christian traditions, comparable to Augustine's description of fallen angels as ethereal. Jinn seem to be considered as the same substance, although the concept of fallen angels is not absent in the Quran. The jinn nevertheless differ in their major characteristics from that of fallen angels. While fallen angels fell from heaven, the jinn did not, but tried to climb up to it in order to receive the news of the angels. Jinn are closer to daemons. Children from a union between humans and jinn are not considered demonic offspring as those from intercourse with Christian demons, like a succubus or an incubus, but rather gifted and talented people with special abilities. Historical persons were sometimes thought to be the offspring of jinn and humans. In later Western popular representation, they became associated with wish granting and often lived in magic lamps or bottles. They appear in 1001 Nights and its adaptations, among other stories. The wish-granting Djinns from the 1001 Nights, however, are the divs of Persian origin, not the Arabian Djinns. Genie was first used in 1704, French translation of the 1001 Nights by Anton Galad, and is mostly associated with wish-granting Djinns. Ifrit and Marid typically refer to evil Djinns. Among the earliest depictions in fiction are the tales collected in 1001 Nights following its translation into European languages in the early 1700s. Djinns or genies started appearing in Western literature. These Western portrayals were often influenced by Orientalism. In the 1900s, they started appearing in film and television. The 1964 film The Brass Bottle and the 1965 to 1970 television sitcom I Dream of Jeannie represented a turning point in genies being portrayed more comedically. Djinns and genies have appeared in diverse genres, including comedy, horror, and musicals. The mid-1900s story The Case of the Annals vs. Man uses a jinn for political allegory. Djinns are depicted in the frame story of 1001 Nights, as well as several of the tales within. including the fisherman and the Djinni, where a fisher finds a Djinn in a jar and forces it to help him, and the second, Calendar's Tale, where Djinn kidnaps a newlywed woman. Pardon me. The Tale of Aladdin, which was not originally included in 1001 Nights, is a famous story of genies being helpful that has been adapted numerous times, including as the 1961 film The Wonders of Aladdin and the 1992 animated film Aladdin. Robin Williams, really good. The 1879 poem The Khan's Devil by John Greenleaf Whittier uses an evil genie as a symbolic representation of alcoholism. Fantasy stories of wish fulfillment occasionally depict the release of Djinns sealed away long ago, as in the 1883 short story Mr. Shelmere's Djinn by Max Adler, and the 1945 novel Miss Carter and the Ifrit by Susan Annis Kirby. Films adapting or inspired by 1001 Nights, such as the 1940 film The Thief of Baghdad, frequently feature genies. Genies also appear in stories set in the present, including the 1945 film Where Do We Go From Here, where an inept genie repeatedly fails to fulfill wishes. The 1900 novel The Brass Bottle by Thomas Anstey Guthrie and its multiple adaptations, and the 1963 The Twilight Zone episode I Dream of Genie, where a man wishes to become a genie. Comedic portrayals of genies, popularised in the 1960s, later appeared in the 1996 film Kazam, where a genie lives in a boombox, and the aforementioned 1992 film Aladdin. Malevolent genies appear in the 1987 film The Outing and several computer games. The 1997 film Wishmaster, bloody good film, depicts a malevolent jinn and outright rejects the comedic portrayals in I Dream of Genie and the 1992 version of Aladdin. Rachel Kane's Weather Warden series that begins with the 2003 novel Ill Wind depicts a human being resurrected as a jinn. In the Bartimaeus sequence by Jonathan Stroud, beginning with the 2003 novel The Amulet of Samarkand, a jinn has a human apprentice. The 2008 novel The Bastard of the Istanbul by Elif Shafak portrays two jinns, one good and one evil. In 2013 science fiction novel by Ibrahim Abbas and Yasser Khawaba, jinns reside in a parallel dimension and one of them has a romantic relationship with a human. There's so much I could cover on them, but in general, depending on the culture, they are not evil, demonic spirits, but entities that are or can be just like us, good or bad. So, if jinns are real and you see one, don't be too quick to judge. Like I said, there's so much on the subject, but I hope you found this informative and insightful. I may have butchered a few words there as well, but hey. So, thanks for watching. If you like the video, hit the like, and if you haven't, and please subscribe to the channel because it would be great to have you here. Until the next video, folks, take care and be well.